Mm.
Did you ever get into a childhood fist fight with a friend? What happens after good friends fight? Physically, like physically fight. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Homemade. I'm Shannon Cason. My old neighborhood was competitive. All the kids on the block, we were competitive as boys, like riding our bikes. Everything was a competition. Like who was the fastest, who's the strongest, who's the smartest, who's the best with girls. That was a part of it too. Um, this kid named on the block, he wasn't that much older than us. T. Hayes. T. Hayes was an older kid on the block, just a little bit older than us, but he would put together an obstacle course in his backyard to decide the ranking of the kids on the block. And this was a full on obstacle course. It had like races, it had wrestling, it had cognitive tests, like maybe we played chess or checkers or something like that. So it had all this, and all of us would compete. And T. Hayes would decide on who was number one, who was number two, and so on. I was picked as number two. And it was a guy named Nate. He was stronger than everybody. Nate was I would probably beat him in the cognitive stuff, but Nate was strong. He was the same size as me. And even as a kid, he was always just super duper strong. I mean, like Nate was crazy strong. In high school, he was lifting like 500 pounds. I think he was lifting 495, like 5 plates on each side. This is in high school. So even as a kid, when we were 12 years old, he was strong. But he was number one. So I was number two. And Nate really got in his head. He got the big head that he was number one. Who cares what T. Hayes thinks? I love you, T. Hayes. You know what I'm saying? You're an interesting guy. But who cares what T. Hayes thinks? But Nate got the big head with it. Now, I grew up, I lived with my grandmother. All the kids on the block, all of us pretty much live with our grandmother. Our family lived with our grandmother. So at my grandmother's house, I would have my cousins come in and out. And one of my cousins was staying with us at the time, my older cousin, Kevin. Now, Kevin is 6 years older than me. 6 years is a lot. Like when I'm 12 and he's 6 years older, he's 18 years old. He like a grown man. And Kevin was good with girls. So he would tell me his stories about girls and I would listen to him. Kevin is a tough dude. He can fight, like he's a fighter. He beat people ass, and so he was teaching me some beating ass techniques and how to fight. And we would spar a lot in the basement or in the backyard of the house. My dad was also teaching me some boxing skills, so I was learning, the basics on how to fight and how to protect myself. Because people really can't fight when you think about it. Like if you see people fight, like normal people just go fight, they can't fight. They throwing fists indiscriminately every single where, trying to throw the strongest blows to hit somebody and turning themselves around. So if somebody has any basic level skill of fighting, like real fighting, like protecting themselves, ducking the chin, making sure you stay guarded, throwing jabs and also actual crosses and uppercuts, really you can get your ass whooped by somebody who got some training. So I was getting that basic training that I needed to whoop an ass in the future. So as kids, Nate got the big head because he number one and I'm number two. And we out playing one day, and I don't know, Nate get the bright idea just to punch me in the stomach. For no good reason, just punch me in the stomach. And I remember this clearly because it hurt. You ever get punched in the stomach and you weren't expecting it? The shit hurts. So he punches me in the stomach, knock all the wind out of me. And I'm sitting there like, why you punch me in the stomach? And I'm a pretty mild-mannered dude now and then. I'm always mild-mannered. But if you taunt me, if you piss me off, it's a switch. And I'm kind of scared of the switch sometimes because I get to this point like I really don't care anymore. Whatever happens, happens. So I tell Nate, we fighting. We gotta fight. You didn't punch me in the stomach for no reason, just because you think you're number one. We fight. So it was a house that was for sale on the block. This is in Ecorse. I lived in Ecorse, which is a suburb right outside of Detroit, but even Detroiters look down on Ecorse. Ecorse is like everybody. Yeah, I love Ecorse, but that's where I grew up from. But the Ecorse, it isn't the suburb that you're thinking of. You know what I'm saying? Ecorse is a very hardworking city, small suburb outside of Detroit, right next to River Ridge. Ecorse is Southwest Detroit. So on my block, it was a house that was up for sale, and nobody was in the house. So we go to that backyard so me and Nate can have this fight. Number one and number two. And the whole block figures it out, and all the kids from the block come in the backyard, even some of the grown-ups, you know what I'm saying, who didn't care, they want to see a good fight. So we in the backyard, and we about to fight. Now, I had been getting this training from my cousin Kevin and my dad, so I had a little training in me. And when we square up the fight, I had these combinations that I would do that they were teaching me. It was like jab, step into my jab, like double up my jab, and then come over with that right hand. So jab, right hand. And when you throw the right hand, my dad would tell me the power comes from my feet. So I had to twist my waist to throw that punch. And when I do that, the power would connect. And to my surprise, all of it connected. I did the jab, both jabs hit Nate, and then I do that right, and the right hit Nate. And all the kids they going crazy in the backyard. Shannon, number two is coming for number one. I'm coming for the number one spot. So they going crazy. The grown-ups, everybody who back there, the bad grown-ups, why they ain't stopping the fight, but grown-ups, kids, they all in the backyard, they're going crazy. So they reset it, like everybody, they break it up for a second, and then they reset us, me and Nate, and I do the same exact combination. Jab, right. Jab, right. Hit Nate again. And the crowd going crazy. Oh, we got a new number one. We got a new number. They going crazy, and it does feel good. I ain't gonna front. It feel good. So they reset us again, and this time I knew Nate wouldn't go for that same combination. Like I would have to do something new. So what I did was I said, okay, I'm gonna do jab, and uppercut because he's gonna duck this next time. So we in and I go jab, and then Nate ducks, and I throw an uppercut, and I hit Nate with the uppercut, but with the uppercut, I bring Nate back up. And Nate, like I say, he a big kid. He is strong. He probably was lifting 225 as a 12-year-old because he was lifting 500 as a teenager. So I hit him with that uppercut. He comes up, and then we grab each other. And we're holding each other like in a kind of a bear hug. Like we're just holding each other. And one of Nate's arms slips out of the bear hug, and he hits me in the face. And he didn't even have full power, like, because he couldn't. All it was just his hand coming down. But them big old paws, he hit me, and all I remember was seeing lights. Like it was like a flash of light. It was like actual fireworks. When you see that on like the TV show, and it'd be fireworks and Batman, boom, pow, it was just like that. Really, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to fight anymore after Nate hit me. So he actually wanted to, but everybody saw me do the jab, right, the jab, right, and the jab, uppercut. So everybody was saying that I won the fight. But by that time, they had broke it up. But Nate hit me so hard that I didn't want to fight anymore anyway. So I go home, And of course, I don't tell my parents that I got in a fight. I don't tell my grandma, my mom, my sister. I don't tell anybody that. I just kind of like get the dirty clothes and put them away and change my clothes and don't tell anybody anything. And later that day, Nate knocks on my door. So I come to the door. I'm like, I really don't want a rematch. I do not want a rematch with Nate, but Nate comes to the door in peace. He's by himself. And I come outside and Nate says, "Good fight, man. That was a good fight." And I tell Nate that I had been practicing with my cousin and my dad was teaching me some moves. And he was telling me that, you know, you really got, man, you really can fight now. You really can fight. And I remember we were sitting, leaning against my grandma's El Dorado, and we were just talking. And we never had problems after that. Me and Nate remained friends all through high school. And it was always a mutual respect because we had that fight as kids. And we never fought again. We never had any problems again. And we always had mutual respect for one another. And I talked to Nate about a month ago, and it was the same respect. Nate, he's working now. I believe he got a new wife or old wife. I don't know, but I know he married and still live in the same neighborhood. And much respect to Nate. I appreciate it. And sometimes a little fight just shows respect. It lets everybody know that there should be some respect for one another. All right.